what is up, guys? I wanted to do another video today talking about these horny Jolys and the problem with them. Obviously my main issue is not with Anna, it's with John. Jono is an absolute freak in every sense of the word. It really pisses me off and frustrates me that people are willing to defend him so much and say, oh, you're the best father ever. He ain't the best dad ever. The guy is a joke. The guy is a freak. The guy, how do people defend him? The fact that people are defending him is beyond me. Obviously I'm not going to start going into this whole, ED being trans thing, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be, I don't really know, people don't need to be arguing about, whether ED was forced into being trans or not. People can argue about it, and argue about it as much as they want. I think the reason that people argue about it so much is people aren't people aren't prove each other on. You've got the people that are saying that ED wasn't, ED was forced. People can't say, but people can't prove that she wasn't. But those people that are saying that ED was forced can't really prove that she was forced. Obviously I'm not going to start saying whether I think ED was forced or not. I'm not going to give my opinion on that, because I don't really feel, it's important for me to give my opinion on that, because ED being trans, isn't something that really affects me personally. It's not something that, I agree with, or that, obviously, I don't know what to make of the whole situation. I just think that people, it makes me laugh that people are so certain and are so confident that ED wasn't forced into being trans when they have no way of actually proving that for sure. No one has any way of proving either way, whether she was trans or whether she wasn't. It's just hilarious, when you read the comments and you see people fighting and bickering, and arguing like 5-year-olds over, over whether he is trans or not, or it's a boy, not a girl, or it's a girl, not a boy. That's what Johnathan and Anna have opened ED up to, is these kind of comments on the video, and we know that, and obviously I'm pretty sure he does read the comments, it's like, people always got to defend Johnathan no matter what he does, and it's just ridiculous. People have their heads stuck too far up Jonathan's backside. Do people not think it's weird, or do they not think it's somewhat odd that every time he uploads a video, the thumbnail has he's using an open mouth thumbnail. Every thumbnail has his daughter's mouth wide open. He knows exactly what he's doing when he's using thumbnails like that. All Jono does is pedo bait his kids and sexualise his kids at every opportunity he gets. There's only one way to describe Johnathan. He's an output child exploiter, child groomer, and child abuser. Simple as that. Obviously, I don't think the accusations that I make against Johnathan are unfair. I've always said that I don't like the vibe I get from Johnathan. The vibe that I get from Johnathan is, it's just a really kind of creepy, sinisterish type vibe. He's just he just makes me feel really uncomfortable, really uneasy. He's very creepy. I get that very kind of sinister vibe from him. To me, I don't think things are all, pitch perfect behind the scenes. I think they're very far from that. I think that there's a lot more that goes on behind the cameras that we don't actually get to see. And I've always said that with the Tony Jolys. I've always said that there's more going on behind the cameras that we, the public, don't actually get to see. Which is why I'm saying that people shouldn't be so quick to dismiss the fact that Edie was forced into being trans, because they don't know that. They don't know that she wasn't forced to be, she wasn't forced into being trans, No one knows that, but no one knows for definite if she was or wasn't. The only one who knows that, the only one who would be able to actually, reveal that is Edie. She's the only one that would really be able to fully actually confirm whether or not she was forced or not forced. You know, it's like when they do, if they was to upload the video of Edie saying, "Oh, I wasn't forced into being trans," I wouldn't believe that was genuine, because it would feel like, Edie was reading from the script. It would just feel like, like Johnathan and Anna had gotten her to say that for the camera, like they'd sat her down and gotten her to say that she was trans. It wouldn't feel like it was actually, genuine. Like, no, this is the thing. Like, the only thing with the trans child thing, like, it doesn't feel genuine to me. Like, everything about the Joly family feels fake. It feels staged. It feels put on. Like, it feels like everything is just for show. Like, they do, like, a lot of what they do, it's just for the cameras. Like, this whole trans thing, it's always only ever felt like Edie is behind trans for the cameras. Like, that's what it feels like. Edie, or Eduardo, whatever people would choose to call her, like, or him, I don't see a trans child. I genuinely don't. I want to believe that Edie is genuinely trans, but I just can't genuinely believe that. It's not that I'm refusing to believe that's true. It's just that I can't really believe it's true, because it just feels like it's not. It just feels so fake. Everything about the Joly family feels so fake. And it feels so put on. Like, I honestly don't know what else to say. Now, obviously I know a lot of people have been commenting about the fact that Alessia, who was only 7 years old, is wearing crop tops. Now, I've always said that kids of a certain age don't really need to be wearing crop tops. It's not really, not really necessary. But I thought, to be honest, I wouldn't have my child wearing a crop top in a video, as it would be, as that would get the pedo's tongues wagging a little bit, there's just so much to be said about Johnathan that, I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say. Obviously, I'm not trying to, I'm not saying that Johnathan's some kind of pedo or something like that, because I would never accuse somebody of being a paedophile or something like that without any actual proof to back up what I'm saying. That's all I'm, that's for sure. That I would never make that accusation against somebody unless I had proof that, proof that backed up what I'm saying, unless I had evidence to prove that that person was a paedophile, to be honest, I've never liked Johnathan ever since the Stacey Dooley documentary came out. Ever since I watched that, and I hear what Johnathan said when Stacey Dooley asked him that question about how he would feel if he knew that pedos were watching and saving videos of his kids and using those videos to masturbate. He basically said that he wouldn't think there was anything wrong with that, and that's why I got. That's what kind of made me think, well, there was something not right about Johnathan. Like, I've always felt that there was something not right about him. Like, there is just something about him that doesn't sit right with me, and I don't know what it is. Like, I don't think, like, he is now, but to me, he's now but a child exploiter, child groomer, and child abuser. What I see is a father and a mother and father that are exploiting their kids for money and views, for fame and fortune. That's all it is. Is 4 children. That's what I see. It's 4 children that are being exploited by their parents, by their fame-hungry parents who only care about fame and fortune. You know, Johnathan and Anna don't give a damn about safeguarding their kids. I mean, we are talking about two parents who when their kids are at school, constantly film their kids in school uniform and constantly show the school logo in their videos, despite the fact they've been warned many times not to do that because of the dangers and the risks that pose to the safety of the kids. But they don't care about they don't care about safeguarding their kids. You know, I mean, their 10-year-old child talks to strangers online, and they don't have a problem with that. You know, they don't have an issue with the fact that their 10-year-old child is talking to random strangers online. You know, I mean, yeah, they can say, oh, well, she's just talking to children, but how do they know for sure that Edie's talking to children, or is just talking to children? It's like, you know, she could be more than likely talking to fully grown adults. You know, and that's what scares me, is the fact that, you know, they don't seem to think there's anything wrong with their child talking to complete strangers online. Like, I don't think any parent would think that was okay or would think that was safe. You know, add that to the fact that they don't monitor what their kids are accessing online, or they don't have parental locks on anything. Again, that's a massive issue. You know, the fact that they're not monitoring what their kids are accessing online, that basically means that Johnathan and Anna don't have a clue what their kids are accessing online. You know, they don't, you know, it's like, how are they supposed to know? You know, it's like their kids could be accessing all sorts of inappropriate websites, and Johnathan and Anna would be none the wiser because they're not monitoring what their kids are accessing on the internet. They're not, you know, it's like, it feels like, you know, Johnathan and Anna, it feels like they give the kids too much freedom. And this is the problem here. They do give the kids too much freedom. I mean, you know, not monitoring what they're doing online. You know, a bit risky in my honest opinion. It's not something that I necessarily agree with. You know, as parents not monitoring their kids' activity online and not monitoring what their kids are doing, which is something they should be doing. You know, and it's something that I think a lot of parents do anyway. You know, I'm not trying to be horrible here, I'm not trying to be harsh, but it's something that has to be said. And I will say it as much as I have to. You know, I don't really have an issue with Anna, because I would say that Anna's not as controversial as Johnathan is. Like, Johnathan is somebody who thrives off of controversy. He loves causing controversy, you know, in whatever way he can. Obviously I know that people are never going to stop fighting about Edie being trans, and you know, people are never going to agree with that. Like, you know, people are never going to agree on the fact that Edie's trans or not trans. You know, people are always going to, you know, everyone has their kind of own opinion when it comes to that. The one thing I see a lot of people say is that they don't agree with Edie transitioning because she's she's still quite young. I mean, obviously she was quite young when she made the decision to transition, and that's, you know, fair enough, but did she actually make that decision? Like, was it fully her decision? But it's just never felt like it was fully her decision. It's always felt like something that Johnathan and Anna wanted more than Eduardo did. You know, I think Johnathan, in particular, very heavily influenced Edie or Eduardo into becoming a girl. You know, I honestly don't think that Anna ever had that much influence in it. I think a lot of the influence came from Johnathan. You know, I do think that he's been, you know, he's kind of been, he's sort of filled, you know, Eduardo's head with all sorts of stuff, you know, messed him up big time. You know, it's just, I certainly think that that Johnathan had a lot of influence in it, and I've always said that, you know, and I don't necessarily agree with the fact that people say they don't think he did, because it just feels like people are defending Johnathan and they shouldn't be. Like, I don't understand how people believe that Johnathan is actually genuinely a decent father. Because what I see in the videos is not a decent father who cares about his children and loves his children. No, what I see in the videos is a pervert and a creep who basically is just exploiting his for money. You know, that's all I see. Is a father exploiting his for fame and fortune. You know, what I see is a father who doesn't care about protecting and safeguarding, doesn't care about safeguarding his children. You know, I see a father who is constantly pedo baiting and sexualizing his kids at every opportunity he gets. You know, the guy is a creep. You know, and I will say that as much as I have to say, he is a creep. And the thumb and his video and the thumbnails he uses for his videos prove just how much a creep Johnathan is. The fact that every video he uses has an open mouth thumb, you know, has his daughter's mouth wide open in the thumbnail. You know, it's just gross. You know, I mean, I have nothing against the kids. You know, I don't, you know, I don't have anything against Edie or Amelia or, you know, Alessia or Andrea. It's, you know, I've only ever had that issue with Johnathan and Alan, more Johnathan in particular, as a guy is a demented creep. You know, people need, all I can say for some people is they really need to get her to wake the hell up and get their heads out of Johnathan's fucking backsides. Jonathan's fucking backside and stop trying to, stop sucking up to it. You know, get their head out of his backside for once. You know, I think a lot of people these days need a fucking reality check. Like, I'm not trying to be harsh here, but a lot of people, I think there are a lot of people out there these days that do need a fucking reality check. And I mean a serious reality check. You know, I don't know what else to say, like, there's not really anything else I could say about this. You know, but I do think that, you know, it's frustrating with this whole trans child thing, you know, people fighting about it, you know, no one has any way of proving either way if she was forced or not. But I feel like I err more on the side if she was forced rather than if she wasn't forced. Like, this whole trans child thing just feels fake. It just feels like, you know, the child is only really going along with it because she knows that it makes her parents happy. And obviously, kids will do whatever they have to do to make their parents happy, and she knows, and she knows that, you know, her going along with being trans, you know, being a trans child, you know, it makes her, you know, makes her parents really, you know, makes her parents happy. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, I don't support, you know, the whole trans child thing, because I don't support something that's basically fake. Like, why would I support something that's fake? Why would I support something that's not real? You know, why would I support, you know, a father who is exploiting, abusing, and grooming his child, and, you know, who has manipulated his child, and, you know, and coerced his child into believing that there's something they're not, into believing that this is who they're meant to be. You know, they've filled Eduardo's head with all sorts of lies. And, you know, that's all I can say, really. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter. But yeah, Johnathan is a creep, and I will say that time and time again, because it has to be said. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you for another video very soon. Bye bye.